Welcome to Make It Happen Monday, my weekly nugget of healthy inspiration. Today I'm going to cover a really common question. I try to pay attention to the questions everyone asks. People say, Dr. Ann, what about dried fruit? Is it okay for me to eat dried fruit? People have been really confused by this, so let me set you straight. So and I'll tell you what the right dried fruits are in a minute. The right dried fruit certainly has its place in healthy eating. Dried fruit is delicious. It's nice and sweet. It is kind of a natural, healthy sweet in a sense. So what do you want to do with dried fruit? First of all, let's compare dried fruit to its fresh fruit counterpart. In terms of metabolic health and weight control, if you had a choice between eating, 3 apples, right, 3 fresh apples, or a small handful of dried apples, for metabolic health and weight control, your top choice would be the fresh fruit. Why? Because you get the bulk from all that water that's in there. The difference between the dried version versus the fresh is the water's been removed. The dried is still going to have the nutrients, with the exception of vitamin C is reduced in dried fruit. But all the other nutrients, the fiber, the vitamins, minerals are going to be there. Many of the phytochemicals, right, are going to be there in the dried fruit. But the dried fruit is a much more concentrated source of calories in a smaller package and sugars. Okay, so that's why the fresh is best. But it can be consumed, again, even in people that are struggling with weight. It's just not as good as the fresh. The key is when you do your dried fruit, you want to be sure it doesn't have any added sugar. Oftentimes sugar is added to the fruit, frankly, to preserve it. Okay? Classic examples, unfortunately, are some of the healthiest fruits. Blueberries, like most people know, blueberries have the health halo effect, and they think, these got to be great for me. Well, the first ingredient in this is the wild blueberries. The second one is corn syrup. And then beyond that, there's a whole list of other, the third ingredient is more sugar, corn syrup, then sugar. So if you look at the amount of sugar that are in these wild blueberries, it's significantly more than the equivalent amount of these dried fruits here, which don't have added sugar. So 40 grams, a serving of these, will give you 30 grams of sugar, and a lot of that's from what they put in there. Whereas, let's just pick these dried plums. 40 grams, a serving of these prunes or dried plums is only 15 grams of sugar. So choose dried fruits that don't have sugar added to them, and I can tell you which ones it's going to be. It's going to be raisins, it's going to be prunes, dried apricots, dried apples, figs, and the other one that typically doesn't have added sugar are going to be peaches. So, and then you want to avoid the ones where you can look on the ingredients list and you see that they added sugar. Berries, classically, craisins, but there's other ones. All right, so the bottom line is dried fruits have a place. Dried fruits without sugar have a place. They're not as good for you in terms of metabolic health and weight control as the fresh fruit, for reasons that I mentioned. But they can be consumed, and I do a lot of these. If you haven't discovered these amazing organic dried figs that you can usually get at Costco. They're so good. This is what I have for my dessert with a little bit of dark chocolate after my lunch. So choose these, stay away from those, and remember to, if you haven't ever checked out my grocery guides, this is the kind of detailed information that I can easily provide. So if you look under recommended snacks, one of them is dried fruit, and it says, be careful if overweight or diabetic. Fresh is better for those folks. But otherwise, apricots, apples, peaches, raisins, plums have the least sugar and are going to be the best choices. All right. Speaking of weight control and getting this question a lot as it relates to weight control, I have some really big news. This week, in fact Thursday, we are officially opening enrollment for my much anticipated Weigh Less for Life e-course. We have been working on this e-course now for several months. We are about to bust with excitement. One thing that's different about this e-course compared to the other two that we've already launched, which is the Eat Right for Life and the Eat Right for Life and the Happiness Plan, is in this one you're going to see me the entire time. People were asking, they said, we'd love to see you more actually teaching, just like I do on these Make It Happen Mondays. And so that you ask, we oblige. So that's what we have done. And if you want to be able to access enrollment, if you want to be able to even learn about this, you better click in the body of this email that contained this video. You need to click a button that's going to tell you click to stay informed, because otherwise we're not blasting out the information on enrollment to my entire community, just those that have chosen to sort of opt in. So please be aware of that. And I'm so excited about the course. It is going to be great. So thank you.